the example I'll use has a common theme between the three of us. It's a company called Nanochon. And so I think just like whether it's life science or tech, you've got to go out and understand, your market, your need. Is it nice, or I always ask if it's nice to have or need to have, because people will pay for a need, but they don't always pay for nice to have, especially in life sciences. And so the big thing is, to me, what Ben did as a CEO when he came to see us, is he had done 250 discovery calls. He had talked to investors, or not investors, he talked to doctors, talked to users, and came in and he was building the product based on market feedback. And I can tell you, I've been in venture for too long a time to mention, but I do have some very nice, $4 and $5 million T-shirts and cups, from companies that didn't do that customer discovery as much, right? Maybe I didn't either. But so Ben, I think you've got to go out, you've got to look at the market, you've got to look at specifically the medical need or the medical device market that you're going after, and they are different, they can change. So understanding the user, understanding the need, understanding how it differentiates you from what else is out there. And I know this is all basic, but I'll tell you, 80% of the people we see don't have the basics, which is really hard, because then you've got to go back and help them do that. But Ben did all of this research so that when you get into the next step of actually building prototype, manufacturing, he understood, some of the testing that needed to be done. He understood whether there was, efficacy, so that when he goes to that next step, which is the human trials, then, the animal trials, he understands what it looks like, what it should do, how it operates, so he's doing a scaffold for the knee, and correct me if I'm off on this, tiny little, for cartilage, for repair of cartilage. And so when he got to the point of doing the animal studies, he knew the design, how to manufacture it, how it should look, how a doctor would implement it, all of those things that are all anything that you really have to do, I think, before you go to any investor. And James is a co-investor, and Ben is a participant in JLab, so there is a commonality here. And all that gets you, so you've got the animal test done, you know it's there, and you go to those 3 letters, which can kill you if you want the FDA, right? You've got to understand that, where it's a class 1, 2, or 3, and depending upon how risky this is, class 1 are like Band-Aids, and class 3 are like, heart valves, things like that. You've got to understand where you fit, what those trials got to look like, what's the FDA regulations, what you have to do to get them, and then I think, your pathway through. So my one advice, I guess, is that there are a number of steps. You've got to do that early work, because like I said, if you go out and build it and the users say no, forget it, you're done. So you really got to go get that user feedback. And his customer discovery, he's built this the way, and we've got some docs on the board. James and I, and the calls we did, we talked to 15 doctors that just loved it, the way it looked and felt and how they put it in. So that then the next step of going to the FDA, doing the animal trials, then doing the human trials, as we hope to get to, is a lot easier and understandable. He brought on an FDA consultant early, because I think, and Sally and James can agree or disagree, but I think, those 3 letters can just kill you. I mean, you can just be shut down in a minute, or go raise more money or whatever. So get a consultant, do that upfront work so that you understand the path.
Where does